Hello, it's Marek. Welcome to MDrives and welcome to another video. And today it's all about Tesla Model 3, the new Tesla Model 3. I wasn't the biggest fan of the look of the previous Model 3, but this one looks so much sharper. I really like it. And even inside, despite the lack of everything around you, it's very minimalistic. I think it looks quite okay. So let's jump in and find out how it is to drive the new Model 3. Tesla Model 3. To me, this is what really kicked off Tesla, because before they only had in their range much more expensive vehicles until Model 3 arrived a couple of years ago. And that became a hit straight away. And it's because of its price point. The Tesla Model 3, it's very reasonably priced, available from around £40,000. So pulling out of the junction, it's absolutely not a problem for this car. It really accelerates nicely and there was no issue with the wheel spin whatsoever. Doing about 50 miles per hour now, I can hear a bit of a noise from tires, I guess. Wind, not really that much, and I think that's what Tesla quite proud of, that they improved it and it's much quieter inside. But what I'm really interested in is how this car behaves on the road. So I've been in a Model Y just a moment ago, and actually that car drove really well. But now I'm in this Model 3 and I have to say it feels really good. You have to get used to the steering in this car. It is a bit sensitive, I would say. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you do, it feels fine. However, the steering wheel, well, there's no stalk for your indicators, so that's something you really have to get used to. You have to press the button, like in cars like Ferraris. So yeah, it's not uncommon, not unheard of, but yeah, not something you will experience in majority of the cars on sales today. So there is a couple of buttons on the steering wheel, which is a good thing. I like buttons, I like physical buttons. It's great, you don't have to go through the menus to find something. So that's a plus. And obviously Teslas are known for its minimalist approach to the design, and that can be seen here in this car. There is not a lot going on here. It's very minimalistic, and if you like that style, well, you're not going to be disappointed. The materials are really good. There is a lot of leather around, some fabric, but it all feels nice and in touch. There is a big center console here with a lot of space for your arm to rest. Got two chargers in the middle, and you've got that big screen. But for a moment, let's focus on driving because we're on twisty beat. Let's accelerate to 60 miles per hour and let's find out how the car behaves in the corners. I tell you what, it feels really well. It actually grips really well. However, I still get that weird feel from the steering, and I'm not sure what it is. It's, again, probably programmed, so you have to get used to it. It's different than any other car I drove. When it comes to electric cars, you would think that they will all feel different, but actually Tesla is probably the only one which stands out to me in the driving feel, in the steering feel. you feel slightly isolated from what the car does underneath you, which some people might like, some people might not be concerned about. Me personally, a person who likes driving quicker cars, sports cars, I like to get a feel of the car. But anyway, this isn't a sport car. I need to turn around now here, which might be a challenge, but let's try it. So, to change the gears, you have to use screen. That is something really new to me. But once you get your head around that, it actually works. It's very close to your steering wheel, so you don't have to move your hand anywhere far to change the gear. So even turns like this, very tight turns, actually aren't too difficult. Right, okay, and we're back. So, as I said, you have to press the button to turn on the indicator, and off we go, back on the main road. It accelerates really pleasantly. It's not mind-bending acceleration, but yeah, it actually feels good on the road. But yeah, it feels really good. So another challenging corner. You know what, the car shifts its weight really well. Absolutely no struggle. Actually, yeah, it feels quite dynamic in the corners. As I said, there is not a lot of feel, and you need to get used to the steering. Once you do, once you realize that it's very hypersensitive, it is absolutely fine. And I think what matters is all that power, it's usable at all the time. So even if you do, like now for example, 45 miles per hour, you just want to overtake someone, you press it and that instant torque kicks in, you're at 60. So the car is really quiet. It insulates you very well from what's happening around you in terms of noise, in terms of bumps in the road. Yeah, I thought for a moment that actually Model Y was slightly better with its maybe bit raised suspension, but yeah, it definitely felt more on the comfy side, more on the wallowy side than this, although I did like it. So if you want to see what I thought about Model Y, I'm gonna leave the link to the video somewhere here. But for now, this is the road I know really well, and it's quite challenging because of the bumps, and yeah, this car flies through them, honestly. Well done, Tesla, for setting up this car. I think it is driving really nicely. Definitely I'm enjoying the drive so far.
The Model 3 I'm driving today, it's the standard range rear-wheel drive only, with 318 miles range of WLTP. However, if you opt in for the smaller 18-inch wheels, the range goes up to 344. The car accelerates from 0 to 60 in 5.8 seconds and can go up to 125 miles per hour. That's quick enough in majority of the countries. The cabin of Tesla, which is dominated by simplicity, it's actually quite spacious. I had plenty of room at the front, and that still left a lot of space for tall adult passengers at the back. There is a lot of hidden storage areas in the center console, which are very deep.
So the good thing is that I can still fit in behind myself, which is absolutely fine, and I really do like this touchscreen here, which gives you an option to turn on the seat heaters.
And you can even play games on this screen, so Tesla will quickly become your kid's favorite car.
So I'm going to switch steering mode to sport, because I found This one is actually probably a bit better. But yeah, let's start this thing from 0 to 60. And here's the 60. So not a mind-bending, but still that instant torque, it works so well. Well, and here we go, we're in 30 zone. The car actually reminded us about it. So yeah, it's the technology in these cars in terms of recognizing where you are on the road, what's around you, is quite amazing. So far I know it actually rides really well in the corners. The suspension feels really nice, it's quiet, it's comfortable. Yeah, there's hardly anything which I would say I don't like. I think the only thing, it's still the lack of something ahead of me showing me the speed I'm traveling with. I could ignore the fact there is no speedos here behind the steering wheel, but I would love to have a small head-up display showing me the speed, nothing more, just the speed. I think this would work so well together with the sat-nav and all of the screens. They're showing all the signs as well, and they're showing you where they are around the car. So yeah, that is pretty amazing. But yeah, the car is dynamic. As you know, there is no issue with the chargers. You know, you get access to all of these Tesla chargers, and we joining traffic, not a problem at all, no wheel spin or anything like that. So it is such a nice daily, because that's what it is. This car will never, to me, be an exciting car to drive, although actually it surprised me today in those corners. You know, it really gripped, and dynamically it's actually quite good. But it's never, to me personally, a petrol head. It will never replace my weekend toy. But that's not what this car is for. This car is for comfortable driving on a daily basis, and I think it is really good at that. I think Model Y, it's definitely a good choice if you want more space. It feels much bigger inside, despite of a similar footprint, I would say. Yeah, it's a bit more wallowy, etc. But again, if you want to hear more about Model Y, watch my other video. This one, Model 3, yes, a pleasant surprise. It feels more compact, but still spacious. I can still get behind myself, which is always a good thing, considering I'm 6'2", so about 186 centimeters tall. When it comes to functionality of this car, again, it's all on that screen, and it's love or hate, pretty much. Some people, techie people, will love it. Some people will hate it. I'm kind of in the middle. Majority of them goes now with big screens, but majority of manufacturers will give you, apart from the big screen, something at the front of the driver, and I think that is what is missing in a Tesla. A head-up display would be my dream scenario, when you can see the speed over here, especially that the car can accelerate quite quickly and you don't get that much feedback because you don't hear engine noises. So yeah, it would be an advantage if you could see your speed ahead of you. So I think it's a good time to come up with a conclusion. I think the car, for what it cost, it's a good value for money. And again, I'm considering all the other cars, brands, you know, I experience. I think this is priced at really good level to attract people to get into Tesla world. And I think, you know, it's not a surprise that Tesla Model 3 and why they do extremely well when it comes to sales. Because they just work, and I think people like to have that assurance that when they turn up at the station, charging station, to charge their car, they won't be stuck. They won't be in a situation where they don't work. So yeah, definitely that is still a huge advantage of Tesla over other manufacturers. That charging facilities, their own network, this is something which really sets them apart from other manufacturers. I think something worth mentioning is the build quality. So not for a second I felt, being in this car, that the build quality could be slightly better. Honestly, it looks, it feels solid, and it feels really fantastic. So if you're looking for an electric car, I strongly recommend you test drive Model 3, because it's a really strong proposition. And I think, you know, if you sold on the looks, if you sold on this minimalistic approach inside, I think you're gonna love this vehicle. So thank you for watching. I appreciate all your views. Make sure you comment and tell me what's your favorite electric car model these days, and what you like or hate about your Tesla. And I'll see you shortly in the next video. Thank you for watching. Make sure you click like and subscribe to my channel, and see you in the next video very soon. Goodbye. Do widzenia.